today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to be looking at a pedal from Flamma. But before we get into the pedal, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. Click on the notification bell so you know what we're up to. Your interaction with the channel helps us engage manufacturers, retailers, and just show off stuff we bought on by ourselves on Prime Day.
Yes.
Guilty. So during Prime Day, I picked up the Flamma FS22 Ekoverb. Why? Because I could.
And we're getting to it. It took us a while to get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so this is a cool pedal. We were talking about how to approach this one, and I said I think one of the interesting things about it is we ought to start with like who's it for. And so real quick, it is an Ekoverb. It has a delay and a reverb in, but one of the things I think we both were maybe confused about at first, it's not an independent delay and an independent, because you see two switches, like, oh, there's the delay switch, there's the reverb switch.
Right.
It's not. So there's three different combinations of delay and reverb on it. We're going to go through all three of those. Who's it for? I mean, this is a nice, if you want kind of that ambient tone, want to put a pedal maybe at the end of your signal chain that you can kick on to get more of an ambient effect with, without having to stack multiple delays or reverbs or things like that. Just want everything kind of in one place. This would be a pretty cool option for that. And I think a reasonably priced option.
Yeah, I don't remember because, again, that was July and it was on sale. But even so, not expensive for what it is.
Right.
And what it does.
So jumping into it, there are three settings. Settings 1, 2, and 3. So we have that little switch in the middle. If you have that on setting 1, you get a reverse delay and you get a swell reverb. So we put a little clip together. And we thought it would be interesting. Like, he's using the Ekoverb in one clip and I'm using the Ekoverb in one clip. Just because, and we played the same thing because we thought it would be cool to see what it sounds like with it on his playing and what it sounds like with it on mine, because we play a little differently from each other. But how did you approach that?
Yeah, it was interesting because we had set it up for number 3 and I just flipped it over to 1, and all I did was turn up the feedback a little bit because I really wanted to feature the reverse. I wanted to hear that reverse delay a little bit. It's set a little bit different than this, but it was kind of more of a little bit of a slap, probably a slap delay with the, like I said, the feedback up a little bit so you hear the reverse. And then it's just what was the reverb is just a
swell.
A swell. Right. So I just turned knobs until it sounded good and didn't get too crazy out of control. I don't know if I'm describing it well, but
in both clips too, we clicked on an overdrive. We clicked on the Barber Electronics overdrive with it.
Right.
Because we were wondering, can with all that,
right,
can you click on a drive pedal and maybe play a couple little lead leg kind of thing? So
I will say this: you will see on the clip where it was set. It's not set the way it is right here because I changed it.
Yeah.
But in the clip, you should see the actual play. So this is what we did.
right, so that was position number 1. So next we're going to flip it over to position number 2. We're going to do this one kind of live here on the pedal, the demo board. Some features of the pedal. You have 2 foot switches, and I said before they're not delay or reverb. Right. It's on off over here, and then over here is tap tempo. So, if I would, faster, slower, really slow, right? So it's a tap. And then the other cool thing is if I were to play a chord, and after you play this chord, I press and hold it. So it's an infinite hold kind of thing. So the only thing really that we haven't talked about are the 8 knobs up at the top. I'm going to let Pat run through those real quick and then show you how he's dialed this. What did we say it was? Real echo, which we're guessing is like tape echo, and a mod reverb.
Right. I would take a venture. It's kind of like a memory man, sort of, kind of. So the left side is basically what you would expect to see on a delay pedal. You have level, time, tone, and feedback. And the tone is kind of nice because you can brighten it or darken it if you want. I can defeat just the reverb side real quick by just turning the level down. So now this is just delay. So you can hear the delay. You can take that tone. Hear how that got brighter. And obviously feedback is feedback. Time. Got it funky there. And then level is level. So that's what I did on the delay side with something like this. Well, maybe not because I tapped it. Let's see what that is. Probably more like what I did. So now if I do the same and I turn the level down on the delay side and just go back to the reverb.
You're hard not to talk over.
The mod side, which you have level, decay, tone, and pre-delay. The decay, I kept describing it as a chorus. It gets more chorusy the more you turn it up because it extends it out. Let's just show you. You want to manipulate that while I hit it. So it's all the way down if I hit it.
And you hear it and it trails off real quick.
Right.
If we turn it way up, you'll hear it. I'm not sure it ever gets more. It's more prevalent because it lasts longer, I think.
And then the pre-delay is the balance between the guitar signal and when the effect kicks in. Mm-hmm. And then you have the same thing with tone here. So I dialed up the modulation side like this. And if I bring the delay back in to put them together, which I think I had it about there, you get this. So you can even see with that, you could make the second half of that as funky and as spacey as you wanted it to be, or you could kind of tighten it up and make it sound a little bit more like a memory man, more like something you could use for a lead tone that's not over the top.
Right. You could get like kind of a light delay there.
Right.
You could tone that down a little bit.
I think that's the one you could probably tone down the best.
You're not going to get like a spring reverb sound, but
right.
If you pull it back a little bit.
But you can pull the pre-delay back and you can pull the decay back and really get some warble, but not a crazy amount of, self-oscillation and mm-hmm. So that's number 2. In mine, my explanation was that's probably the simplest one because it doesn't have reverse, and now you're going to go to 3 and say why 3 is unique.
Right. So 3 is going to be an analog delay and shimmer, and I like analog delay, so that was good for me. But shimmer the tone knob on the reverb, the higher you turn the tone knob, that's really affecting the shimmer now. So you can get like really kind of high octaves coming out. I think we had it
kind of on the darker side, the lower octaves.
Kind of on the darker side. So you have this shimmering sound with the delay. And that clip, I guess we'll just jump to the clip.
Right.
Number 3 sounds a little bit like this.
So that's the Ekoverb. We showed you the 3 settings. We told you what they're paired up with the delay and the reverb. Kind of told you our opinion of who it's for. You may agree, disagree. You might want to go buy this pedal and twist some more knobs and make it as simple as you want or as funky as you want. Right. It is a fun pedal, like Jason said. You could put at the end of your chain and have a delay and a reverb. And you could, we talked about it indirectly, you could use one or the other, but you manually just have to turn the level back to 0 on one of them. And so, wow, I really like that modulation, and turn the delay off. Or I really like this delay, I don't want the modulation. You can't do it on the fly, but you could certainly manipulate the pedal if you're recording or whatever you want to do.
I probably oversimplified it a little bit,
but it would, we thought at first you could turn one off and one on the fly, but it still works. It's a really interesting pedal.
I like pedals that have one good sound. You know what I mean?
We're guilty of that.
I plug it in and you have a pedal. It has one good sound. That's So I like that. So I thought this was kind of cool. 3 good sounds, 3 good settings. They've already kind of dialed in these pairs for you. Mm-hmm. You can still tweak them a little bit, but you can't tweak every parameter. So I can't change the modulation speed on the reverb on the second setting. Right. But you know what? Sometimes a pedal like that's nice. Sometimes not being able to dive into every single parameter is a good thing. I think the only thing we didn't mention, it's stereo in, stereo out. Oh yeah, we got a little lazy and only ran it in mono. Because we figured that's what most people do. Right. So we have 2 amps right there, but we did it in mono. So anyway, instead of covering the same territory, that's the Ekoverb. Fun pedal. Right. We kind of held off because this is going to be hard. It wasn't hard. It was fun. You could dial up some really interesting stuff. Yeah, quick. So with that, thanks for watching. We always appreciate when people subscribe, click the notification bell, hit the leave a comment, leave a like, whatever. Anytime you interact with the show, it really helps us out, and it's one of the reasons we're able to connect with so many of the great people, companies that we connect with. So check out the website, and I think with that, I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. Barber? Sure.